Thanks a lot for sparing your valuable time today for a small interaction on an important topic in the field of ethanol industry. After good numbers of installation pan-India based on mature technology for ethanol production, I think now it's a time to have innovative sustainable solutions in some of the process blocks to reduce OPEX, CAPEX, greenhouse gas emission, groundwater extraction for process use, and carbon footprint. We provide technological solutions for sugar refinery, sugar, alcohol, water, and jaggery sector particularly. Jaggery, where we are providing a very sustainable model for production unit without use of steam. In case of jaggery, we already have one Moranisa Bioorganics Private Limited at Maharashtra, where jaggery plant is in operation, and second jaggery plant of 500 TCD, expandable to 750 TCD, we are going to inaugurate, we are going to commission this particular plant in Assam with Ecotech Agro Mills. Now, here are the very concise list of some of the installation where we did a remarkable achievement of reduction of steam consumptions. For example, AB Sugars Limited, Dasua, Punjab, in 2016-17, we achieved a target of reduction of steam consumption from 48% on cane to 35%, and in lieu of that, we got an increase in the crushing capacity. The major installation include like spray continuous pan, falling film evaporators, other boiling house schemes, which we incorporated to achieve such kind of targets. Chadda Sugar Industries, another example, where we were able to reduce steam consumption from 48% to 38%. Jam Hay Sugar Industries, we achieved steam consumption of 32% on cane, and we designed the complete boiling house of this complete sugar mill project. And just imagine the sugar mill boiling house is such an area where you have a lot of steam consumptions, and we were able to reduce it to mere 32%, which is a very small number. Dewan Sugars Limited, Moradabad in Uttar Pradesh. This is a very interesting example where from the last 3 years we are constantly decreasing the steam consumption and increasing their production capacity. From the last 3 years, if we are working with Dewan Sugars, this is a very, you can well imagine how those people are, they are clear about the concept of SAD and they are incorporating those. Now, on the footstep of Dewan Sugars, various other industries we are also incorporating similar kind of applications whereby we are increasing the capacity and decreasing the steam consumptions. Gokul Moli Sugars Limited in Maharashtra is an example where steam consumption is merely 30% on cane. This complete turnkey project was commissioned by SAD. And in our in-house, we have the intellectual properties, various properties like more than 35% innovation patents with the 15 plus trademarks, 49% design patents, and above 14 numbers we are having our copyrights. Our low temperature evaporator is a patent technology, and on the similar footsteps, we are having various other technology which we have got the patented on the name of SAD. In the various countries, you can see a list of countries where our patents have been granted. Now, these are the certifications for the technologies, various certification in-house which we are having at SAD. Now, this was a brief concept. Of course, I have tried to cover the whole, SAD at large, but I am leaving certain things which will be available on our website or even our corporate presentation, which at the end of this webinar we'll be sharing with you to have the more deep insight into the technology and about our company's progress and various projects we are taking. Now, let's talk about the low temperature evaporator. Now, this low temperature evaporator is a patented technology of SAD, where is a combination of heat exchanger, vacuum, mechanical vapor compression in a very small footprints, and we provide higher evaporation capacity. We can design, of course, we are delivering those products also ranging from 0.5 meter cube per hour capacity to 1 MLD or even 2 MLD plants also in the field of wastewater recovery, where we can recover water to the tune of more than 95% on a very smaller carbon footprints. These are the various merits of low temperature evaporation we can have. We can have more than even 99% water recovery with minimum electric power demand. You don't require any external heat source. You don't require any heat rejection unit like cooling towers. the maximum concentration we can achieve with the highest quality products at a very low capital cost. Now, if we talk about the low temperature evaporation process flow, here is a very small schematic where you will notice the black line which is coming. This is the wastewater which is going in the PHE. Now, when it goes to the PHE, the heat is exchanged from the condensate, which is coming from the evaporator, low temperature evaporator body, and the heated material is fed directly to the body, where it is getting recirculated with a recirculation pump. It is being sprayed from the top and passes through the plate packs which we have incorporated. Now, these plate packs and this whole system is our patented technology, and the vapors we are creating a vacuum with the help of vacuum pump, and non-condensable gases are being taken out with the same, and we create a vacuum in the system. Now, when this vacuum is created at this temperature, the boiling starts, and with the help of vapor we are taking it out and being compressed back to the system. Now, this complete system is the patent of SED, and with this particular system we are able to do the evaporation, get the condensate out, make the whole steam economy in the one very compact system, and hence reduce the carbon footprints for that. Now, if you see this current wastewater treatment scenario, if you see in the wastewater, when we are going to treat wastewater, you will find some pH adjustments, equalization tank, primary clarifier, aeration tank, secondary clarifier, and a series of some carbon filters are there. Then you will get RO. Now, when RO is there, you are getting permeate, which is recycled back to the system. Now, what to do with the reject? Now, that's the biggest issue in the industry. What to do with the reject? Now, reject is at this moment, reject is being fed to the multiple effect evaporator, and after evaporator, we are taking water out and solids in the form of rejects. Now, when we apply this our LTE system, you will notice that we don't require more than 75% of the equipment required for the treatment of waste. You are having a single step solution where with the help of evaporation, you are able to recover water and solid as a reject. Now, if you are aware that we are using current multiple effect evaporator, where we have the boiler, from turbine we are getting steam, we are generating power, and that particular steam we are utilizing for evaporation for the concentration of solids which are in feed. Now, after that vapors we require to condense those vapors to get the process condensates. For that we require cooling tower which is there. Now, the concentrate which is there, we are feeding this concentrate to the slow boilers. With LTE, now there is a game change in this LTE. Now, when we use LTE, you don't require boiler, you don't require turbine. Of course, you require power. Now, when there is no heat which is going to be input in this particular system, and the vapors which are generated, we are using MVR to recompress those vapors, use as a heat source in our system. Now, this MVR acts as a boiler for this particular low temperature evaporation technology. When we use this, we recover heat from the condensate, and we don't require any cooling tower for the heat rejection. So, with this, you have the steam and cooling tower requirements become zero. Now, the major USP of this LTE technology is like you don't require heat generator and rejector. No RO process is required. Water recovery up to 99% is possible. Lowest water recovery costs, lower carbon footprint, then no chemical treatment in process. Of course, for some application you may require some chemical treatment, but it is depending on the requirement of a special process industry, and direct wastewater to clean water in a single step is possible. Above all, we have gone one step more ahead by providing automation intelligence in such kind of systems. Our whole LTE systems which we are incorporating in the industry, we are providing automation intelligence where the PLC system which is attached to the low temperature evaporator bodies and all and the systems is connected to the local site monitoring system as well through the remote controlling from our SCDL office. So from our office we can control the whole process algorithm sitting from our office and guiding our team at the site and even the our customers. Now, if customer wants to continue such kind of services, we can continue it, but of course on chargeable basis. But such kind of innovative solutions we are providing nowadays to have the complete robust and interaction with the customer to build up a strong customer builder relations of after sales services also. Now let's talk about the low temperature evaporator. Now we'll talk about how this low temperature evaporator with MVR is going to be a game changer in the distillery operation. Now if we talk about distillery process, the problem statement is there in front of your screen, which is very loud and clear. There is a net steam consumption of molasses based system about 3.5 to 3.6 kg a liter of ethanol, and standalone evaporator which we are using for the concentration of solids in the distillery operation is from 1 kg per liter to 1.5 kg per liter of ethanol. This is steam consumption in general, broad spectrum I will say, and which is of course from 28 to 42% of the total steam consumption of a distillery. Now if we talk about raw water consumption, which is 6 liter per liter or 6 kl per kl of ethanol, and out of this raw water consumption for the dedicated multiple effect evaporator cooling tower is from 1.5 to 2.5 kl per kl of ethanol, which is again about 25 to 42%. Excessive choking issues with standalone evaporator tubes is a very common phenomenon. Now these three major issues are there which people operating distilleries are facing on daily basis. First one is the OPEX related issue, which we would definitely want to reduce the operating costs of today's time. And second is the groundwater extraction. Now if you see, government is very keen to reduce the groundwater extraction. In some of the states, they are designated some of the areas where they are not even allowing to have a distillery over there, installation of new distillery. Even the distillation plants, distilleries which are situated in certain areas which are in a red zone, people are getting strong notices from the State Pollution Control Board and Central Pollution Control Board also. So now it means there is a very strong urge to reduce this groundwater extraction. How to reduce this groundwater requirement of a distillery is a very important aspect of today's life. Now, if the third point we see, it's related to the operations. Now, when we talk about the excessive choking issues, the major issue which we are already there, we are using spent wash and then we are mixing with RO, CPO cooling tower rejects with that spent wash along with the fermenter washing and using for the concentration in case of multiple effect evaporator. Now when you use this, we are experiencing lots and lots of excessive choking issues. There are nowadays even people are installing those multiple effect evaporator with the standby equipments. Now it's a very ridiculous kind of thing to install. Instead of resolving the issue, we are again furthering increasing the issue by installing a separate standby arrangement for that and increasing the capex requirement. Now these are the three problem statements which we will be taking in today's webinar, how we can get it resolved with low temperature evaporation scheme system developed at SAD with a small examples. Now if we see this LT application distillery, you will find these are the three major areas where we can apply such kind of principles. Like for concentration of molasses based spent wash, we can concentrate from 13% to odd 60% or even more if the system requires, if a process requires. Then for grain based and biomethylated spent wash, we can concentrate from 6% to 35% or maybe 40% also. In case of cane juice application, now this is a very new concept which is coming because of the government mandate that distilleries are allowed, sugar mills are allowed to divert part of their sugar cane to produce ethanol from the cane juice directly. Now when you're going for it, you require a cane juice concentration system. You need to have the cane juice syrup and you need to concentrate it from 12 Brix to 55 to 65 Brix. Then when you're using this, there will be a spent wash generation will be there. Now you require a system for the concentration of spent wash which is coming from the distillery using cane juice syrup from 4 Brix to 60 Brix or maybe 35 to 40 Brix as per the requirement of your environmental clearances and all. This is another second point where this system can be utilized. In case of cooling tower blowdowns, DM water rejects, CPU reject water recovery systems. This is a very interesting area where such kind of systems have very importance because you are not mixing your good effluent with the bad effluent. But we are in the habit of mixing the both and doing the rest of the thing, and we lead to a lot of issues there. When there already a system is available, why not to use that? So we'll be talking a little bit about those with some of the case studies which are already there and some of the installations which we have commissioned in the last 1 or 2 years of now. Now let's take an example of concentration of molasses based paint wash. Now when we talk about that, why not to use a low temperature evaporation system, the first question in our mind will come whether it's a really economical solution, whether somebody is using in India. So these are the two questions which every time a technology provider is going to listen from the clients. Now here we will be talking about both of the things. First we'll talk about the economical part of this system, and then we'll be talk about the installations. Now I have given a very small brief abstract of analysis, commercial analysis, whether it's going to be profitable or not. With some I have taken the broad numbers, like for example taken for 150 KLP distillery where raw spent wash is 1250, taking the factor of 8, roughly 8 factor. We are getting about 60 to 65 degrees centigrade raw spent wash in our LT or in multiple effect evaporator with inlet solids of 12%, and we want to increase to 60%. We have taken few basis for the calculation where we have taken steam cost of 1250 per ton of steam, power cost as 6 rupees and 50 paisa per unit, and we have tried to correlate the data. If you see the steam, now this data is a comparison with the standalone multiple effect evaporator conventional kind of system with MVR based LT system which we are proposing now. The steam requirement, you must be aware, is about 8.5 tons per hour. I will repeat here again, these numbers of conventional systems may vary from a different distillery setups. We have taken a very common generic numbers. Now steam requirement is about 8.5 tons per hour, and steam cost will come out to be 204 rupees per ton of feed. Now power requirement here is 12 kilowatt hours per ton of feed. Now here what we are taking is the power required, we are taking considering multiple effect evaporator, forced circulation, along with the cooling tower water requirement with recirculation pumps and all. About 625 odd numbers of kilowatt hour is the requirement for such kind of application, and based on that we are getting about 12 kilowatt hour per ton of feed, and the power cost associated to that is 78 rupees, and we get the total utility cost of rupees 282 per ton of feed. Now if we see our MVR based system, you will find we don't require any steam here because we are already getting at 60-65, and this 60-65 temperature is the normal phenomena where in every distillery we are getting such kind of temperature ranges. It may vary a little bit, but I'm taking for this consideration, I'm taking it for 60-65. So dear friends, you don't require any steam here. Now the only power requirement will be about 16 to 22 kilowatts per ton of feed in our such kind of systems. And if we calculate the average number, it comes out to be 117 rupees per ton of feed. Now with 282 against 282, we are having a operating cost of utility operating cost of 117 rupees per ton of feed. Now if we correlate, now this is the saving, we will find that total utility cost savings comes out to be 165 rupees per ton of feed, which is equivalent to rupees 2 lakhs per day, and if we take about 300 working days, it comes out to be 618 lakhs per year. Now this is the economics on a broader sense. Now let's talk about under similar kind of application, what is going to be the cooling water requirement. Now the typical number of cooling water recirculation rate in multiple effect evaporator for 150 KLPD plant will be 1050 cubic meter per hour. And if we take about an average cooling tower makeup water requirement of 1.05% on an average basis, you will find we require 265 cubic meter per day makeup water requirement, which comes out to be 1.78 kiloliter per kiloliter of ethanol. Now these are the numbers which are required for the as a makeup water. Now we at this moment we are either we are doing the more ground extraction, or we have already taken enough groundwater and we are recycling back such water to the cooling tower. In fact, what is happening, cooling tower becomes a dumping zone of water. Any wastewater which is coming out generated from the process, we are trying to feed it back to the recycle back to the cooling towers. Now here we want to reduce the water consumption. Instead of dumping it back to the cooling tower, why not to use that water for the process use where it is really required. So in this particular application you will find there is no cooling water, no steam, and at the end you will find that we are having a steam saving of 1.36 kg per liter of ethanol, which is equivalent to 8.5 tons, which we are feeding to the multiple effect evaporator, and raw water saving will be 1.77 kl per kl of ethanol, which is about 265 cubic meter a day. And along with that, there will be OPEX savings of 6.18 Cr. Now, this is the one part where we have done a small analysis of multiple effect evaporator with low temperature evaporator usage in standalone distilleries. Now let's talk about another area where we can use this low temperature evaporation for ethanol manufacturing from cane juice syrup. Now if you see, when we are going to divert cane juice for the ethanol manufacturing, first of all we require a robust system, for very low economical system, where we can concentrate that juice syrup to the 265 bricks or 60 bricks or maybe 55 to 65 bricks as per the requirement of a distillery or the process technology which people are using. When we use this 65 cane juice syrup in the fermentation and distillation, after distillation we are getting spent wash. Spent wash will be recycled back to the system, because we want to achieve a number of less than 4 kl or maybe 4.5 kl as prescribed by the state pollution control boards. We have to recycle that spent wash. Now the spent wash which will be coming out is having about 4 bricks or 5 bricks, and then as per the requirement we have to concentrate to 60 bricks for the burning in the boiler, or maybe to the 45 bricks or 35 bricks for the biocomposting process and all. Now you will notice that there are two kind of evaporator system which is required for such kind of application. Now at SAD we have come up with a new kind of system where we'll be having a two set of evaporators. One will be utilized for the concentration of cane juice to cane juice syrup, and then spent wash to slop to the required concentration during the season. Same kind of system we can utilize during the off season. Now when we are having the off season, we are not using cane juice in the off season, we are using either B heavy molasses or C molasses. Now when we use that, again we will be requiring a system multiple effect evaporator or a concentration system, solid concentration system, where we need to concentrate it from the 12 to 14 bricks to 60 bricks for burning in the boiler. Same set of equipment will be utilized for such application. So when you are going for the capex, you will find that there is a saving in that. You require a single system during the off season, which will be utilized for two type of requirements, two type of operation, like concentration to cane juice syrup and the concentration of spent wash. And during the off season, the same set of equipment will be utilized for the molasses based spent wash for the concentration. So you save capex in that particular case. And here where you use this LT system also. Now after discussion, after presenting a small thing, the cost economical and the usage of system for the spent wash solid concentration, I will say, systems. Now I would like to give some few examples over there. When we SCD developed this technology, we had extensive R&D first of all. About 4 years back, 1 ton per hour capacity system was installed at India Glycos Limited, Kashipur, Uttarakhand, where it did extensive study of concentration of spent wash and biomethated spent wash to 60 to 65%. Now, based on those results, system was further improved and 1 ton per hour system was installed at Varna Sugars. There also we did the extensive study, which is based on the outcome of the first study. After that, we commissioned first plant of 300 cubic meter a day molasses based spent wash from distillery at Kibos Sugars, Kenya. In this particular case, we are concentrating spent wash from 20% odd numbers to 70%. Till 70% we are doing the concentration of solids there. And here the power consumption is coming out to be 16 kilowatt hour per ton of feed. This plant is already commissioned now and is working very fine. Then comes recently, about a month back, we have commissioned a little larger capacity, double the capacity of the system of 600 cubic meter a day capacity plant, where now this particular system is based on our initial, the thing which I have discussed just now, the one evaporator system, which will be utilized for two different purposes. During the season, it will be utilized for the concentration of cane juice syrup, as well for the concentration of spent wash, and during the off season, it will be used for the raw spent wash concentration. At this moment, because since we do not have the juice there, we are having a spent wash, and system is running very fine, is under optimization of course, where we are concentrating from 12 bricks to about 50 to 60 bricks concentration we are already doing. We are still optimizing that plant because we have commissioned this plant a month back and giving the very good results as per other requirement. Now these two installation on spent wash is already there. Now after this 600 cubic meter day, the road is very clear for us to go for the higher capacity also. Now I have taken two different combination where we can use the low temperature evaporator. Now the third system where it can be utilized, I will discuss about that part. That is regarding cooling tower blowdowns, DM water rejects, CPU rejects, and we want to do the water recovery. Dear friends, you must be aware, this is a nominal, very phenomena which we people are using. The everything where we want to remove the solids, we want to concentrate the solids, we dump everything in one standalone evaporator, and that increases our pain area. We are doing raw spent wash, fermenter washings, CPU RO rejects, cooling tower blowdowns, mixing it and feeding to the conventional evaporator system. And the condensate which we are getting, we feed it to the CPU for the further polishing and recycling back to the system. And the concentrated spent wash which we are getting, we feed to the boiler as a fuel. Now what happened? Raw spent wash, fermenter washings, white effluent which is low TDS, which is the rejects of various process schemes and all, concentrating together. Now when we do the concentration together, what happened? You must have noticed that after 35% or 40% of solids, you get the excessive choking of your ME tubes. This is a nominal phenomena which we are getting. And the reason is very obvious, because we are concentrating such kind of effluent, mixing it together where we should not do it. Now what's an alternative to that? Here the alternative is very interesting one. Why not to separate those two streams? Let LT or standalone evaporator which you people are having concentrate the raw spent wash and fermenter washing, because these two are the colored effluent and we want to get rid of colored effluent. Recover the concentrated solid, burn in the boiler, take the condensate out. When we are separating these two streams, you will find that the condensate which is coming in the evaporator system, number one, you will get the lower steam consumptions because the lean one, solids percentage is very less there. And second, the condensate quality will come down, your load on the CPU will come down, your operating cost will come down. Now instead of that, let CPU RO rejects, cooling tower blowdowns combine it together, feed it to the another low temperature evaporator where you are going to get a very small number of operating power cost requirements. Generally speaking, the TDS is 1 to 2%, or maybe in some of the cases 3% also solids are there. Now to concentrate these solids, we can concentrate up to 35% or maybe 40% max. After that, you don't require, because already when you are concentrating it to 30% or 35%, you have already recovered about 95 to 97% of your water out of it. And concentrating inorganics and taking it out, water, is a very easy process, easy to handle. And the water which will be coming out will be having less than 250 ppm of TDS, which can be directly used in your process. In some of the cases, you may require a further, say, maybe some aeration or maybe some pH adjustment you may be requiring. But the thing is, you can use this water very easily without disturbing the whole plant, and you will get the good water recovery out of it. Then why not to do it? In this way, the load on CPU for process condensate also decreases, and so your operating expenses will come down. Your capex requirement will also come down. So this is another example where we can utilize LTE. Now I will like to give discuss two case studies for that, where we are utilizing such kind of things. You are aware of paper mills, the paper mill effluent which is coming out. We have installed one 500 KLD plant with Nani Paper Limited at Kashipur, Uttarakhand, where the wastewater of RO reject, which is having about 1% to 2% solids, total solids, TDS, is there, and want to concentrate it to 30 to 35%. This plant is working there from the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And we are getting a TDS of less than 50 ppm sometime also. A very pure kind of water we are getting there, and recovering more than 95% with a very nominal power consumption of less than 15 kilowatt hours per cubic meter of feed. That is already we are achieving in this particular field. Then next, Ecotech paper industry, again on similar kind of application where we are getting TDS of 3%, which is a RO reject also, again RO reject. We are concentrating that to 72% TDS and recovering more than 95% of water. And the power consumption is again a very small number, 12 to 13 kilowatt hour per cubic meter of the feed. Now these two are very interesting example where we have already achieved such kind of numbers in the industry, and these examples are workable solutions now. This is not an R&D kind of thing, so really workable solutions which is already there. Now so far we have talked about OPEX reduction, sustainable solutions for the solids with a different method by separating these two, lean effluent and colored effluent, and various things, and the water saving also. Now let's talk about another important thing, which is the greenhouse gas emission reduction. Now when we are, in a true sense, we want to develop a sustainable model, we require to evaluate whether this technology is again providing sustainable solutions, whether it's really decreasing the greenhouse gas emissions or not. So we have tried to take that study also of these 4 different working models like Kibos, Shri Durga Sugar Mills, Nani Paper Mill and Ecotech Paper Mill. We have employed that greenhouse gas emission rates. We have tried to calculate those numbers. Having certain, generic numbers we have taken, default number data like the greenhouse gas emission factor for thermal energy, we have taken 275 kg CO2 per metric ton of steam. Then for the electric power, we have taken 0.8. These are numbers which we have taken as a generic form, taking with few, assumptions and all. On those bases, we have tried to calculate. And you will notice that for the conventional multiple effect evaporator, if we use, the load will come out to be 39.22 kg CO2 per cubic meter of feed in case of Kibos. Whereas for MVR LT application, you will get only 12.8. Similarly, for Shri Durga Sugar Mills, like these two are application for spent wash concentration applications. You will find the 38.83 is the number for the conventional system against 16 kg CO2 per cubic meter for the LT based system. And similarly for the Nani paper mill and Ecotech, we have tried to build up such kind of models, and you will find there is a very unique reduction of greenhouse gas emission. Emissions reduction is there. In case of molasses, you will find from 58% to 67.5% reduction is there. And for clear water applications, it is about 78 to 81%. So in short, apart from the operating cost reduction, apart from the groundwater extraction reduction, we are also imparting a sustainable solution, which is the reduction of the greenhouse gas emission. And this is evident from these numbers. Now, if I want to conclude now, after the whole discussion, I would like to do it this way. The various examples which I have taken so far, you will find the reduction of steam consumption by 37.7%, groundwater extraction by 30%, greenhouse gas emission in case of spent wash application is about 58 to 82%. And excessive choking, we have already tried to resolve that. We know it is possible. And load on CPU for process, condensate and treatment costs also get reduced substantially with such kind of applications. That I have tried to prove in my discussions few minutes just now. I have done that dissertation, my dissertation now. At the end, I would like to dedicate a very important saying that if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. Our founder, sir, Mr. Vivek Verma, about few years back, he imagined a kind of solution, a kind of sustainable solution to provide to the industry of sugar mills as well to the distillery. Wherever we want to use steam, why not to emit it? These are the very small steps in that particular direction where we have tried to give us sustainable solutions. We have tried to develop a model where we can do evaporation, concentration, treatment kind of thing without using any steam. LT is a small step towards sustainable growth of ethanol industry, aligned in true sense of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Gentlemen, this technology is made in India for the world. Thank you very much.